Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for The Walking Dead World Beyond. This is my weekly review for this week's episode of The Walking Dead World Beyond. This is for Season 1, Episode 5, Madman Across the River.
No! They're working behind our backs trying to get us to turn around.
Just don't want anybody to die.
Here they come!
Go, 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 go.
Okay guys, this is going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of The Walking Dead World Beyond. This is for Season 1, Episode 5, Madman Across the River. So, this is going to be my weekly review for this week's episode of World Beyond. This is actually marking the halfway mark now for the first season of The Walking Dead World Beyond. That means we are a quarter way through the series already. So that is very, very just crazy. I feel like the weeks have gone by really quick for this. Even though some of the episodes have not been all that good, it still is kind of crazy that we're already a quarter way through this show. So, I will let you guys know just for the beginning of this review as well, we are not going to do weekly predictions for The Walking Dead World Beyond anymore. I'm cutting those off, like I said last week. So what we'll do is we'll do our review, and then at the end of this video, I will just kind of quickly, briefly discuss the promo for the next coming episode of The World Beyond. So the reason why I'm doing that is because I find that I go through a lot of trouble to do my review and my predictions, and I find that there's not that much to discuss in the predictions every week for The Walking Dead World Beyond. So maybe the only predictions we'll do for World Beyond is like leading into the finale or something. But weekly predictions for World Beyond are not going to be happening anymore. We will still be doing our weekly review and predictions for Fear, because Fear of the Walking Dead always has something to discuss going into the next one. But for World Beyond, it's just not doing it for me in terms of predictions. So I've been trying, but I can't. So that's just one thing to let you guys know about. Now this episode, so let's talk about it. So this week's episode, we get to focus on Elton. Now he is our main character of this episode. We get to see some flashbacks with him and his parents, which I did actually really like a lot of what they were doing with Elton in this episode and seeing him as a little kid. We get to see his father and, of course, his mom, and we can get the idea that this happened literally right before the sky fell, because the mom is literally wearing the same outfit that she was wearing in the flashbacks that we saw in the pilot. So we know that's Elton's mom. We know, obviously, that Hope, killed her, obviously, but Elton does not know that yet. But neither did Hope know that that was Elton's mom. She just thought it was some random lady. But in this episode, we get to focus, obviously, on Elton, obviously, the death of his dad, and we know how his mom goes out as well, too. And it was really, really sad when we get to see the death of his dad. I thought that was really sad when he sees him, and just all the flashbacks, the way they handled it, really, really sad. And I think that these flashbacks with Elton worked a lot better than the flashbacks we've been getting with Silas. The ones with Silas, they really annoy me because we're just not seeing anything, But at least with the ones with Elton, they told a full story here, And I really did appreciate a lot of what they did with Elton in this episode, and I thought the flashbacks were really good because we needed a little bit of a backstory for him. So I did like that. Now, the main story of this episode is in the current timeline. Our characters are trying to get across the river, obviously, and we have our characters, a lot of, inner turmoil with, the characters, because, Elton obviously is kind of being forced by I'd say being forced to kind of take the rest of the kids back home. Felix kind of wants him to work with him. And he's like, I never said I was in. You never said that you weren't. And he's kind of forced to work along with him. So they get all the stuff for this boat basically, and I found it to be very, very interesting how they kind of build this thing, and it's kind of a struggle to try to put all these pieces together and stuff like that. But I did like, a lot of what they were doing in this episode with the walkers. Some good tension there, especially with Felix. And then we get a bit of a kind of a confrontation when Hope kind of approaches Elton about him trying to lead them back home. And, Iris kind of tries to break up the fight. In terms of that scene with Hope, I found it to be very, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of how Hope kind of approached Elton in this one. It just kind of came off as just kind of weird. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I didn't like how she approached Elton in this episode. I was kind of like, okay, like leave him alone, And Hope is my favorite out of the kids, but I didn't like how she did that. Now, like I said, this episode, we get to see a lot of Elton and kind of where he's at. So it's a big Elton episode. But obviously the other thing is them kind of building this boat and trying to get, across. So it is a success, narrowly it is. They get out just in time. But we get to focus, obviously, on, kind of their journey on how to do that. Now, the scene when Hope realizes that, Elton's mom is the one that she killed, That was one of my favorite scenes of the episode. That was just crazy. And it's kind of like what's going to happen next, because what's going to happen when Elton and Hope both know what's going on. And that reveal at the end when Hope sees the picture, that got me really excited to see what they're going to do with Elton and Hope. So I really enjoyed that scene. And I think that where that's going to go, that's just absolutely crazy. So that was another really great scene in this episode. Now, we get to also see at the end of this episode, which I figured is another thing we need to bring up, is that at the end of this episode, we have a bit of a cliffhanger on who exactly shows up at the end there. In the shadows and stuff like that, and obviously we'll have to wait till next episode to find out who that is, but there is a survivor that they run into, which we see a little bit more of in the promo of episode 6. So, in terms of an episode overall, there was some good dialogue with some of the characters. Hope and Felix had a good one as well, and I really did like a lot of what they were doing with Elton. I found Elton was definitely the star of this episode, and I think that, the flashbacks really did well. I really like the flashbacks because compared to some of the other ones we got, like even the ones with Felix, they didn't work well for me. So these flashbacks with Elton really did a good job, because like I said, some of the ones with Silas and Felix, they just haven't worked as well in my opinion, but this one was really, really good, and I actually felt really bad for Elton in this episode. So that was the flashbacks. The current timeline was really good with them building this boat, trying to get across, and some good stuff with some walkers, and very, very exciting stuff all the way around, and a pretty good kind of cliffhanger for the episode. Now, let's get real. Where on earth is the CRM? Okay, listen, I really do not like how they are doing this, because episode 1 with the CRM, I was good with it. I was like, I like this. This is really good. Episode 2, they're nowhere to be seen. But I gave him a pass on that. I was like, okay, one episode 2, fine. Maybe one of the episodes we don't need to see CRM. I'm fine with that. Let's delve into the kids a little bit more. But then episode 3, that's when it really started to annoy me, because we only saw the CRM at the very end of the episode. And then episode 4, they weren't even really in it except for the post-credit scene, which really isn't even part of the episode. But with the whole A's and B's thing, it's good. It's decent, but we didn't see much of them. And then in this episode, they're not even, I don't know, guys. I really wanted more from the CRM at this point. We're halfway through the season. We really deserve more of the CRM. I really think that they need to give us more. And honestly, it doesn't even look like next week with episode 6, at least based off of the promo, that we're going to see very much of them. So I just don't know what they're doing with the CRM. It's very, very frustrating, and it really, really annoys me, to be honest, because here you have a show that they promoted a lot of, CRM, and we are barely seeing anything. I mean, honestly, we see a post-credit scene, a quick scene here and there, and then everything else is just in the pilot. It's like, okay, up your game a little bit. That's what the fans, and I can guarantee you this, there are more people watching this show that are watching it for Rick Grimes and the CRM than are watching it just to see what the kids are up to. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you can focus on the kids 60, 70% of the time. I'm fine with that. I fully expect that. But they need to fix some of that stuff too, though, with the kids. The acting really needs to get better. But the CRM, they should not have. Right now, as it stands, the CRM takes about 10% of the story right now. And 15% if you want to go that far. At most. The CRM deserves way more screen time. Maybe we'll get it. Maybe by the time we get near the end of the season, we'll get more of it. But as it stands right now, I'm very frustrated with the amount of the CRM that we're actually getting. And it just really frustrates me all around. So, I don't know. That's the big, big gripe I've had, not only with this episode, but with the other episodes. It's just really frustrating. So, obviously, we can see in the promo for next week's episode, we have this new character that they're going to be running into. We'll have to see what they do there. I hope next week's episode is good. In terms of this episode and kind of rating this week's episode of World Beyond, I'm going to give it an 8. I think it was a big step up from last week with, the school thing, the useless wolf, the cringy dance scene. A lot of that stuff is just so bad last week. This week, I didn't get any kind of cringy scenes. The one with Hope confronting Elton could have been acted a little bit better. I think they should have done a retake on that. But aside from that, it's a pretty good episode. It's a way better episode, I would say, than last episode. Last week's episode, I rated as a 4 out of 10, and I stand by that rating. I think it definitely deserves a 4 out of 10, and honestly, I think that any rating higher than that, it's just people are being too nice, because last week's episode was really bad, to be honest. But this episode, it had some good moments. It had some good stuff. Really need more from the CRM. I really do like the cliffhanger with, you know, the stranger at the end. I thought that was pretty cool. And obviously, the stuff with them with the boat and stuff, the Elton flashbacks and everything like that, the kind of conflict with the group of him, you know, with everything with him and Felix and how they're planning, you know, to kind of try to get them all back home. I thought it was a good episode. All around, as a whole, it was a good episode. It's an 8 out of 10, and I think it's a step up. It's a step in the right direction for World Beyond. I just hope that they can keep up at least something like this kind of episode for episodes 6, 7, you know, to 10. And then I expect by episode 9 and 10, something really good, you know? I know there's those theories out there, too, that Rick Grimes is going to be in the Season 1 finale of World Beyond. I'm not buying it yet, but the theories are out, so definitely, you know, that's up for discussion. But again, there are Aaron and Althea theories that they are related, so there is that as well, you know? But in terms of an episode, I really liked it. You know, I had a few problems, really need more of CRM. The kids, Iris still really ruins some of the scenes for me, and, you know, and Hope's, you know, confronting with Elton, I thought could have been a lot better. But aside from that, it's a really good episode, really enjoyed it. I think Elton's character definitely is going up in the list for me as one of my favorites. I think he really upped the game this week with the flashbacks, and I thought it worked great. I thought it was really good. So, anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Write your comments in the comment section below. That's all I, you know, got to say for this week for World Beyond. We'll have to see where episode 6 goes, but yes, we are halfway through Season 1. What are your thoughts on Season 1 so far, now that we've seen the first half of Season 1, even though there was no mid-season break? But still, you know, now that we've seen the first half of the first season of The Walking Dead World Beyond, the first quarter of the series, where are you guys at with the show right now? I definitely want to hear that in the comment section below. If you guys are new here, click the subscribe button so you can send me videos for The Walking Dead World Beyond. Follow Dan's Walking Dead Reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for another video for The Walking Dead World Beyond. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Anybody out there?